Part two of a chat with Matt Bartholow and Foster Barthlow. When it comes to 88 Trap, if you need any information, these are the guys to talk to. They're known as the Bartholow Brothers in Trap Circles. If you go and check them out online, you will find everything you need to know about 88 Trap. Gents, thank you so much. Okay, so in our last episode, we spoke a little bit about the mental game, and that kind of segued into confidence and then especially having confidence in your equipment. You, along with me, I am also a Browning shooter. I am proud to say. Um,
Nice.
you shooting the new 825s, am I correct?
I am. Yep. I am shooting that one for I got the 825 Trap Max and loving that gun. It's been incredible. Kicked Matt's butt at South Dakota State in doubles with it.
There you
I'm
go.
I'm gonna I'm gonna get a sticker because that's about all I got. But no, it's been shooting really well. Really loving that gun. And like you said, it's been incredible. The journey, finding the right gear and just everything that works for you. That's a big part of it.
Okay, but now tell me, I see Foster, you shooting us from some of the videos I've seen. Obviously, single barrel when you're shooting singles. But
Mm-hmm.
then I heard in a podcast that you have different guns for the handicap, different ones for doubles, different ones for singles. What are the differences?
Yeah, so we got a top single for singles. I'm still shooting the Satori XT, if you've heard of that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's been a great gun. And handicap, I have the unsingle XT, and then this year I switched to the 825 Trap Max for doubles specifically, which is a 30-inch barrel for me. Matt's really taught me a lot with the doubles game, and at one point I was hitting him so hard on that first shot. I loved it, right? Because you'd blow it up. It was so cool to see. But I would get fixated on like how hard I would hit that, and I'd forget about that second target. And as Matt says, basically going from that first one to the second one, you basically have to, instantaneously flick your eyes over to it. I wasn't doing that. And so I switched out to a Briley, oh, it'd be a light mod choke tube where it opens up a lot more. Still hitting them good, but I'm not getting that huge black puff of smoke. And it gives me a lot more confidence when I can move to that second one. I don't have this huge shadow following my
So
rib
you
going over
the
to it.
break was actually almost too good. You were hitting them so well that
Hmm.
your subconscious was like almost enjoying the break and not giving you enough time to get to the
Oh,
second target.
big time. Yep.
Okay, but
Yep.
now talk to me a bit about the thought process with that kind of a thing, because you've got to shoot a few to first of all understand it. So let's keep with the doubles. Matt, I was watching some of your videos. That first target, I mean, I know because it's the only way a shooter can do it, but it would, for a layman watching it, it looks like you cold pull, you see a target that you pull, almost as
Mhm.
if you weren't aiming. I know you are,
Yeah.
because it would be impossible to do it without. You've taken it to such a high level, though. I mean, it seems from the videos that that target has hardly left the trap house when you
Hmm.
pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Do you get the impression behind the stock, behind the trigger, when it's going really well? Are you seeing a fully round white flyer target? You're making out, you're making out circles. You're seeing it clearly.
Ideally, yes. You know, perfect bright day with a good background. You get your gun up, get your eyes set, yell pull, and ideally you're watching and a single target comes up and you see it and you just pull the trigger. That's, ideal situations. Sometimes, bad lighting, low lighting, bad background, start shooting shoot offs at the Grand, they start shooting at dusk, so it's really bad lighting at that point. But you're almost just searching for movement and being able to time it. Um, yeah, like you said, I'm not really aiming at it. Like I'm holding my gun in one spot, and as soon as that target's coming up, I just pull the trigger. So I'm not really aiming it. It's almost like a peripheral awareness of that first target. Once it's there, pull the trigger, and then I'm more focused on the second target than anything. So just I've gotten it down to a point where I've gotten good at the timing on the first target,
Yeah.
so I don't really have to worry about it as much.
Well,
I
a good
can
friend of mine who was at the Grand last year, he said to me, "Do yourself a favor, go and watch Matt shoot doubles." He said it's poetry in motion, and I totally get it because I've shot some doubles, and it's an addictive game, especially for a sporting clay shooter. Trap doubles is a fantastic game to practice your simultaneous pairs, uh, and it's addictive because you could blow through ammo at a rate of knots and really enjoy it. But I think listening to you speak now about it's so you're holding the gun still, you're almost letting the target fly into your pattern, and then you're transitioning to the second shot.
exactly. Yep. And that makes it so, if you're following the target out and pulling the trigger, there's a lot of movement on that first shot. Whereas if you let it come into your barrel and pull the trigger and then you move, you're only one making one motion for the entire pair. If that makes sense.
Yes.
It makes it a lot quicker to get to that second one. And getting there quickly to the second one is the most important thing in doubles, because if you're not getting there quickly, your brain goes into panic mode, and then it's haywire from there. You might think that you're doing fine or whatever, but if you see that target dropping, your brain goes into panic mode, and it's never fun after that.
Yeah. So, Foster, I know that you are, as Matt mentioned in the last episode, you pick up things quicker, and you also shoot a lot more disciplines than Matt does. He
Yep.
keeps it strictly to trap, and he shoots doubles. But you enjoy a round of sporting clays every now and then. Ever thought about taking it up competitively?
Yeah, I went to Montana last year and shot competitively for sporting clays. Now I didn't do, as well as I hoped, but I did good. It's really cool because, like you were talking about, the sporting clays community, they're great people. And I would say the sporting clays community, I mean, everyone's just so friendly. And I've been blessed. I've been able to go out, and shoot some content with Winchester. So I've got to meet, a lot of the greats in your guys' sport too. Desi and Zach
Yeah,
and Wilgis's, Daniels, Theo Ribs. I mean, there's a lot of really great shooters that I've been able to film and watch and shoot with and learn from. And so I mean, yeah. That's another podcast in itself
yeah,
about how
exactly.
great sporting clays is.
But it's interesting to me that I mean you guys are sponsored by Browning, and I take it that when it comes to trap shooting, Browning is very involved, and it's a very popular brand. Whereas
Mhm.
in sporting clays in America, Krieghoff and Beretta are way out front. Why is that? Was it a decision made like in a boardroom somewhere? Why do you think that is?
I'm only the junior product manager. I can't make all the decisions. There's definitely things that we would love to do with guns
Yeah,
that would be uh, very advantageous for Browning, but we'll give our opinions on it. But they came out with the 825 Pro Sporting,
yeah,
and I think that's going to be a really good gun.
yes. It's coming to South
But
Africa at the end of the year. I can't wait to see it. I've seen the Pro Sport. It looks incredible.
yeah,
I'm shooting a 725, and
hmm
I've basically made it into a Pro Sport with aftermarket, with all of the extra Browning bits. I've been a Browning fan. I started shooting with my dad when I was 11 years old. And back then in South Africa, you had to have a Browning. Browning was the
Mhm.
gun. When I returned to shooting in my mid 30s, all of a sudden I'd seen, oh my word, like the Italians have come in and the Germans. So Krieghoff and Beretta have come in. Now Blaser as well. So I suppose it's good for the sport that there's some
hmm
choice. While we're still busy with the guns, tell me, to shoot all of these amount of clays that you're shooting, and you say you're a junior product manager, are you using any sort of recoil suppressants on your guns?
Some of them I'm using recoil suppressant. I use the gray coil on my doubles, rad system on my handicap. Singles, I don't use anything. Just kind of, it's less motion, less points of failure for me. But for doubles, you almost kind of need it to mitigate the recoil on that first target. And then handicap, I'm shooting a heavier load and don't really want to take all that recoil. So yeah, I mean you figure out what does and doesn't work for you. It's definitely a process. I mean, figuring out which systems you need and don't need. But yeah, I use a couple of different ones. I think Foster uses gray coil for the most part.
Yeah, but I have gray coil and red, both. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously with the Trap Max, it comes with the gray coil, so that's been working really well. Matt's the first person I know that's actually worn out one of the pistons with the gray coil um, this year at the Grand.
Hmm.
And yeah, but no, they're all really good systems. And you can't beat a really good stock either. Not knocking on any guys that spend 5, 10 grand on a good stock too.
Are you guys using custom made stocks like fitted to you?
We're not,
Nope.
but have a few friends that, do and love them too. And like I said, we're, pretty much for our guns, they're for the most part stock, um, with the exception of a little bit of trigger work on singles gun. But yeah, everything's been working well for us. But we have a few buddies that are trying to get us into more customized stocks, and we're looking into them as well.
Yeah. Tell me another story. Sponsored by Winchester. For the doubles, are you using a different load for the first target than to the second target?
Yeah, so I use a light load for the first target, and then a heavy load for the second.
So
I
what
used to
what is
do
it? Are you shooting a 28 gram for the first one and a 32 or 36 for the second, or what is it?
so they're both ounce and an eighth, as far as
So
the
32s.
shot goes.
Yeah.
The man, the lights I'm using are so they're 1140 for speed. Then the heavies are about 1200.
Okay.
So I mean it's a pretty small difference, but any amount of recoil mitigation you can get on that first target is just a game changer. I used to shoot heavy load for both shots. And my dad was kind of, I was, oh, I don't know, 17, 18 at the time and didn't think that, I was definitely tougher than a heavy load, obviously. But my dad was like, "Man, if you just try a light load, you're gonna have so much less recoil on the first one." I was like, "Nah, no, I'm not. I don't need it. I don't need it. Whatever." And then, finally, after probably 2, 3 years of him begging me to try it, I tried it, and man, it was just like something clicked in my head, and it was perfect after that.
Mm.
So, sometimes you got to listen to other people.
I hear you. I hear you. Foster, so I know I've seen some of the hunting videos, and I heard a stat the other day. So we were in the previous episode, we talked a little bit about the numbers, how much you guys are shooting, and sort of how many targets get thrown at the grand.
Hmm.
But as a dove hunter, and this is a little bit different from in South Africa. In South Africa, we could shoot doves all year round, but there's a specific dove season. I heard a rumor, and please help me if I'm wrong, but I heard on opening weekend of dove season in America that more cartridges get sold in that one weekend than all of the competition targets for the rest of the year combined. Am I right?
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, it should be a national holiday for us. About like deer hunting season when that comes in. Um, but yeah, it's crazy the amount of sales, and I don't have the numbers exactly, but that's what I've been told too, that essentially the amount of dove hunting loads that get sold just far supersede the amount that gets sold for trap shooting sporting clays. And it's crazy. But I mean, at the same point too, we're using double A's for going out shooting doves,
Yeah.
and it works just as well. It works well for us because I'm very superstitious, and so like especially at the Grand, I have to open up a new box of like a new flat. Going out, especially for the championship days, like it can't just be some unknown box that's just been sitting in my truck for a week. It has to be brand new. Like make sure like it comes out of a brand new package, like everything. So we have a lot of spares at the end of the year, and those get turned into our dove hunting shells for that season too.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, you guys are in South Dakota, about 30 minutes from Mount Rushmore. Uh, I've seen on the videos doves, ducks. Is there hunting close to where you are from home?
We are in God's country over here. We got, 15 minutes one way, we got the Black Hills of South Dakota. 15 minutes the other way, we got the prairies of South Dakota. And so we have so much nature, and wildlife. It's crazy awesome here. Very low humidity. Yeah, so it's tough because we go to the Grand, right, where there's just so much humidity. You step out and you can't be in the sun for 5 minutes without breaking a sweat, and then you get back home and it's like 100 degrees, no humidity, and it's just like, oh, this is great. But yeah, as far as hunting wildlife, we have antelope, we have deer, both whitetails and muleys, we have doves, ducks, we have geese, we have upland with pheasants, partridge, we got grouse, and then it transitions. We got elk, we got turkeys. Am I forgetting anything, Matt?
About the only thing we don't have is quail and moose.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, we got pretty much everything here.
You can get a buffalo tag in Custer State Park if you
Yeah.
get lucky and draw
You can get a
that.
bighorn and a mountain goat tag down there.
My
There's
word,
there's everything here.
that's incredible.
So
So,
don't come to South Dakota. It sucks. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. My brother used to live in Canada, and he was in a draw to shoot an elk. Um, and I said to him, "Yeah, I don't have to be in a draw, mate. I could just arrive at a farm, pay my money, and away I go." So we've got to get you guys into Africa. Anyway, have you been to Africa at all?
Mm-mm. Would
Mm-mm.
love to. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to make that happen. I can put you in touch with
Yeah.
some hunters. We'll get you. I mean, you got some animals in South Dakota. We've got more. I promise we do. I
Oh
promise
yeah.
we do.
We don't have black we don't have Black Death over here.
Yeah, yeah, and oh, I mean, last week, I don't. You must have read the story where an American hunter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was very sad, very sad. Guys, before we go, any more sponsors we have to give some love to? We've mentioned Browning, we've mentioned Winchester, we've mentioned Briley. Who else is part of the Bartholow brothers shooting team?
We got quite a few sponsors this year. I'll go through just a couple. This year, Onyx partnered with us, and we've been doing some free ice cream tickets down at the Grand. That's been incredible, just to get away and be able to go and enjoy a free ice cream on Onyx. We've been working with Bear Pelt that has the shooting vests. Those are incredible as well. They're actually coming out. They have the license for Mossy Oak. And so for dove hunting stuff this year, it's going to be game on with the new Bear Pelt dove vests. We got Clay Target Vision, which all the pillows are incredible, and they're amazing over there. Have you seen the new? I believe it's Vistas coming out.
Yes, they look incredible.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
very excited to. Matt tried them on at the Grand, and I think for sporting clays, that's going to be
Yeah.
a game changer. I really do. Definitely more expensive, but they if it works, it's great. And Matt, who else do we got? I'll let you take a
Um,
few more.
White Flyer. They've been awesome to us, helping with, getting to our clinics, making sure we have enough targets for all the youth clinics that we're doing. Um, Tetra Hearing, we've gotten in with them. They do awesome stuff for the music plugs that I wear. They do a lot more hunting stuff. Foster uses them for pretty much every single thing he hunts.
Oh, it's crazy. Like if you have a turkey roosted up behind you with the tetras in, you turn those babies on. You'd swear that you got a turkey like that close to you. Um, they work that well. Or even out pheasant hunting. I've always struggled with hearing stuff, especially when there's wind. And Tetris have been incredible. I would say they're number one as far as the hunting, hearing protection slash hearing enhancements. They cut that wind. It's crazy. They cut the wind. You can hear. Corey was out, one of my buddies, with Prestige Outdoors, and we were quail hunting down in Texas. He could literally hear the birds moving around. Like we got done. Uh, it's really cool how they hunt them down there because you have your pointers, but then you have dog behind that basically these dogs are pointing in front, and this other one will go in. It's the flushing dog, the flusher, and he'll go in and get them all up. And we had a couple uh, cubbies, or I'm not probably going to get murdered on this one for not the right terminology, but we got up into a group of them, and everyone, thought we were done. And so we were moving on. And Corey turns around and he goes, guys, there's more back in there. And everyone's like, you're crazy. And sure enough, so got the dogs back over there. And it wasn't just once, or it was like 3 or 4 times where he's like, guys, there's birds over here, there's birds over there. And so he got the nickname Bird Dog. Um, but yeah, those tetras are incredible.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we started the conversation talking about confidence in the equipment, and I suppose one of the good things about being at the top of the sport is a lot of the suppliers want to be associated with the Bartholow brothers, so you get to try and use some of the best products on the market, which is fantastic.
Hmm.
Um, I want
Matt,
to just,
for gun cleaning,
Hmm.
yeah,
can you go through some of that stuff too?
Yeah, so we're actually with Pro Shot this year. We got on with them. They've been amazing with gun cleaning stuff. They have so many cool options and different setups as far as uh, how
Oils,
you're,
greases.
yeah, storage and everything. It's insane. So yeah, shout out to them too. They've been fantastic.
And that's another question we get a lot is how many shells do we go through before cleaning? Whether it's just your choke tubes or the barrels. Personally, Matt and I, what is it, like 300 to 500 rounds,
Yeah, about
give
that.
or give or take. Down at the Grand, I don't know what it is, but you shoot in that higher heat, higher humidity, and it just seems like it sticks on that plastic fouling so much quicker
Mhm.
than up where we're at. So yeah, I usually have to clean a lot more. Like down there, I'll clean, in the 2,600 total targets plus practice. I'll end up cleaning my gun 4 or 5 times down there.
Mhm.
And I want to point out too, patterning shotguns. Um, I'm in love with patterning all my guns, right? Like for turkey hunting, we did a video patterning like 20 yards to 110 yards with a 410. Just we're not going to shoot a turkey out that far, but just patterning to see what you can do. Matt's never been a huge fan of patterning guns until this year. He completely switched his, like you were talking, what are some things that are beneficial out on the trap
Mhm.
line? And I think going and patterning your shotgun is one of the crucial things that you have to do.
Mhm. Yeah, I
yes,
definitely changed
so
my
so you
mind
know
about
where
it
the
this
where the
year.
pattern's going. So I was talking to some students earlier this week, and they had just bought some new guns and they were keen to pattern. And I'd listened to a podcast with Anthony Matarazzi, and he had a new stock made, and it was a Greenwood stock, and they wanted to go and pattern it. And it turned out that his bottom barrel was shooting high and right, and he
Hmm.
didn't know. He had won titles. He'd been a Grand American. He'd won. Oh, I think he won his World English with that gun.
Hmm.
So I said to the students, I said, okay, we can go and pattern your gun, but what then? What if
Hmm.
the result isn't what you expect? What's going to happen then? And then I saw a penny drop. They were like, oh, okay, cool. So I would understand though for trap, you want to know, it's obviously you want a bit higher. So, for a sporting clays shooter, most sporting clays birds are dropping. So you either want
Hmm.
50-50 or 60-40 below, 60
Hmm.
below. For you guys, obviously a little bit different. What kind of how much higher are you patterning?
I'm anywhere in that 60-40 to 80-20 high. Um, just kind of each of my guns is set up differently. My For singles, I like to be kind of right more up on the target, so I'm 60-40 right there. My double or handicap, I want to shoot a little higher just because, it's shot takes just a little bit longer to get there, and you kind of want to make sure that you're shooting high enough at it. So I'm about 80-20 for that. Doubles, probably about 80-20 as well, just so I can, when that first target's coming up, I don't have to raise my gun at all then. I just pull the trigger and it's shooting just a little high for me.
Okay. And you about the same, Foster?
Yeah, I'm about in that 70-30 range for pretty much everything. I think, like with Matt said, his handicap gun, he has a little higher point of impact. I'm the same way. I'm about 80/20, but we've seen great shooters from everything from, 120% high to shooting 50/50 and
Mhm.
smashing targets too. So I don't think, at the end of the day, you got to find what works for you, what your
Mhm.
brain tells you. And the patterning board is going to do so much for you, right? Like a pattern board is not going to lie to you, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool. And so going out, you're at least going to be able to get that pattern where you think it should be. But I always recommend to people too, the pattern board is one of those good things. It's not going to be the end all cure for, going and shooting a great score.
Yeah.
Personally, like if we go out and shoot handicap, I'm gonna go pattern my gun, make sure it's shooting that 80/20, at the beginning of the season. And then I'm gonna go on the trap line and micro adjust it from there, right? If I know that I'm shooting low consistently, I'm gonna, bump that stock just a little bit or bump the rib just a little bit until I am absolutely powdering those targets, crushing those targets out there. So I mean, yeah, it's good peace of mind, right? Because like Matt, I know had a problem with his singles gun this year where it usually was shooting a high point of impact, and what
Mhm.
was it shooting?
Went out and shooting, and it was shooting 20/80, so 80% low, which for
Whoa!
trap is no good. And took it in, and it's just I've been shooting that gun for 18 years now. So took it in, and they're like, your barrel's shot. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of rounds you have through this thing, but so got a new barrel on it. But yeah,
Yeah, so for
I'm
those
all of
keeping
a
score,
sudden,
that's one barrel and one recoil suppressor. Matt is a gun destroyer.
right?
That was Matt's title this year, the Gun Destroyer.
Yeah.
I think he broke absolutely every one of his guns there at
Yeah,
Grand.
all three of them went down on me, but luckily we were in the place where we have all the Browning gunsmiths, so I didn't have to send anything back and forth.
Well, I mean, that
Yeah.
is one of the things. Every time anyone goes to the States from South Africa, if they're either going to go and shoot the World Ski Championships or the Grand, or
Mhm.
there's a sporting clays competition, they always come back with stories of the amount of vendors. I mean, vendor row at the Grand,
Mhm.
it's next level. It is
Yeah.
completely next level.
Yeah. It's long because there's the West ve vendors, which is like the building vendors, and then there's East vendors, and they're all in tents down there, and like tents in their little like pop-up shelters and stuff. And it's I don't know how they do it some days. It's a little toasty out there. But yeah, I mean, it's insane. You can find anything down there with as far as shooting goes, or I mean, you find hunting stuff, you can find anything you want down there.
All right. So one thing we didn't talk about is, like I said, I'm very superstitious, but I'm going to thank myself here for Matt winning this year. Because let's see, it would have been what, 3 years ago. I won South Dakota State in doubles. Matt wins the Grand. Last year, Matt won South Dakota State in doubles, didn't win the Grand. And then this year, I kicked Matt's butt again at South Dakota State, won the doubles championship. And he goes on, and I'm heckling him, and he ends up going and winning the Grand. So this is a pattern now, right? Where Matt has to let me win at South Dakota State for doubles, and then he's going to do great things at the Grand.
I
Maybe.
think I think Big Bro's got to do it again. He's got to go to with the state next year, and then you've got to share the winnings from the Grand. That's only
Right?
fair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he loves telling that story, so
that's the one thing I got. So no, it's he said we were going to switch this year. He was going to take over singles and I was going to do doubles, but he
yeah.
couldn't let it go. He just
I-
couldn't let it go.
right. Yeah.
Uh, Gentlemen, thank you so very much. This has been really enlightening, and I really hope this is not one and done. Hopefully, we can keep this relationship going. I'm going to be
Yeah.
putting your links onto the thing. Like I said, I'm a brand new podcast. I'm on 4 episodes, so hopefully by next year, when we speak before the Grand, it's grown a bit more. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. It's really, really kind. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
you. We'd love to be back.
Lovely.
yeah, this has been awesome.